And I'm back. Okay. That was a waste of space of a live stream, wasn't it? 10 minutes for nothing. Guess that's how time passes, doesn't it? Isn't it? 1 minute at a time. So, all my life, since I was a little boy, I've been fascinated by strength. And stories my dad told me about the way he grew up and the way they had to farm, and the habits of my grandfather, which included many feats of strength, fed that to me. So I loved it. But it's not the feat of strength, nor the ability that I'm fascinated by, but strength itself as a concept. And so because of that, because of the purity of my love for strength as an idea, it became possible that for me, strength of character also scratched that itch. Strength is and can be shown or demonstrated in many different forms and arenas. And so, it's really cool. It's one of my favorite things. I certainly aspire to strength. Another thing so that's kind of cool. Been that way since I was a little boy. Another thing that really interests me or fascinates me that I love is people's hands. I've heard that, can't recall where I've heard it actually, but I've heard that girls look at hands a lot. That I haven't found that to be true. I haven't observed that myself. Perhaps it's only in the men that they love or secretly admire, or maybe that's why it was said to somebody that I obviously overheard, but because I can't remember where I heard that. So I probably wasn't supposed to hear it. But whatever the reason, I've always associated that part of me as being feminine, more feminine than masculine. The part of me that looks at people's hands and is so interested in them, fascinated by them, and loves them. It is the and it is the same part of me that loves strength, sort of fascinated how the human hand works. I'm not talking about looking up things online and doing research and getting books in the library on the human hand. I'm interested in finding them out for myself. Like a scientist, I want to discover, not just learn. I want it to be a part of or a result of my creative process as much as anyone else's, that some truth is known, or some evidence discovered and found out. Which, truth be told, is probably the reason I don't look up a lot of stuff, even if I could, because I don't want to know the answer. I want to find the answer. I want to go on the adventure of seeking the truth. And I guess if that's wrong in the way that I'm doing it, it's because I don't have the patience to first completely and fully learn everything there is to know that's true, which has already been discovered, before I discover my own truths, or discover truths for myself. You know what I mean? Which I tried in the kind of schooling that's required of us in America. The problem is a lot of it's lies. A lot of it is untrue, in other words. And so, I guess in a way I sort of quickly bypassed it and largely discredited it in my mind. Hierarchically, it was sort of at the bottom. It was largely a waste of time and effort. And although I put a lot of effort into it, I never got anything out of it. Which I shouldn't be surprised at, because I put the time in, but I never believed it would amount to anything, because I didn't believe that it was true. And it wasn't. So, and more people are realizing that to be the case. But all these things that I'm talking about and I've spoken of are things that have been a part of my soul, part of me, my entire life, since I was a little bitty boy. Since I was old enough to think, which is earlier than you think it was. But today, September 17th, I have a new one. I don't think it's one I've remembered. I think it's one I've never had before. And I think because I've never had it before, well, without getting too hopeful and going into detail, I think that's a positive and good thing. I am certainly excited about it. Anyways, obsessed with strength, obsessed with people's hands, men and women, mostly men, and obsessed with what? Truth. What's the new one? My new obsession is with what's it called? niche goals. Now, it's more specific even than that. Because the reason it interests me, or what interests me about hyper specific goals, is this. It comes in picture form. Which is technically when you observe someone doing something, maybe you're out with your friends, you're a young teenager, you make a prediction about whether what they're doing is intelligent or unintelligent, whether it's going to come to fruition or whether it will fail, like a business proposal, stuff like that. And I'm like obsessed with this image in my future, which I guess comes as a result of the contemplation of my own potential and future goals and prospects. Imagine this picture. These teenagers, these kids, are all saying this stuff about how I'm wrong. And by the way, they're able to observe me 20 and 30 different times to make a prediction about my decision-making skills, discernment, and my accuracy, and my work, my success. Because they're able to observe me all this time consistently, because I go from being observed in person to being observed through media, and from being observed through media to being observed in newspapers. So they're able to observe me from further and further away, which is a great opportunity for them, but it's sort of haunting them, right? It's kind of crazy. Rather than every night when they go out to the bar, or they go out to a place of business, whatever time of day or night, rather than pick out a random stranger, from the first moment they've made a prediction about me, they have had to, or been sort of faced with and forced to say again and again that I will not succeed. And though whatever's happening with me appears to be good because of the media coverage of more people observing me, not in the way that they are, but in a more general media way, influencer type, what have you. Etc. Here it is in a nutshell. That was the image. Okay, well, let me finish the image. They keep predicting that I'm wrong. And who knows, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But I keep growing, and I keep improving. Not changing, but just growing, increasing what I am and what I have, what I offer. That's the most important thing I have to say. Increasing what I offer. And ultimately, they observe me finally closer saying no to things. And the things I'm saying no to are the things that they desire more than anything on the earth. And then one day they get to observe me say yes. But it's to something that they don't care about, they don't want. But it's the thing I want more than anything in the world. This is my new obsession. First it was strength, the hands and the truth. I love all those things. I will never not love them. I hope nothing will dampen my love for the truth. I seek to model it in my life and to know it more intimately all the time. I pray it would manifest from me, be a part of my life and my story, the truth. But today, as I lay down for a nap, this season, among others, this season among all the years of my life, I am drawn to the idea that there are things that everybody wants, that I want, that I can say no to, and I say no to all of them. And that saying no to all the things that aren't my one specific niche goal is what affords me that which I most want. How do you like them apples? Check that out. I think there is a wasp trying to find me. Dad, you gotta cut that one again. Holy Moses. Yeah.
Alright, movie.
Oh my gosh. You may need to watch that tonight.
We have Emma in.
With Dad, I mean.
And guess what else was in?
No. I guess Ivan will be. Well, maybe I should find out if Addie wants to come with us to that.
I understand that you're trying to ask the boys first, probably.
Addie literally asked me to bring it up my next conversation. And also to call her whenever I work out next.
Okay, yeah, but Adeline's thinking of, like, probably her dad going with her.
Yeah, that's not realistic for somebody of her age and lack of conviction.
So,
She's just mildly interested
but
like
I
a
understand
kid.
you're trying to let Ivan go first because he's a boy and he's probably gonna, you want him to participate.
Yeah.
But,
He's injured.
but if you're gonna ask
Stay
one of
after
the
it and find
girls,
truth in arm wrestling. Bye, guys.